You have the da that goes from right here, and then you have a straight line, but it's an overhang right here, and then you have a line that goes down. All right, that's the da, la. The next is the ha, and the ha. Right. This is the ha. And basically has that almost like the door thing that the da had, but first of all, it doesn't have an overhang. This one goes straight like down. And then you have another one that goes here, but it's a break between there. All right? That's the ha. All right. All right. What's the next letter?
Wa.
Wa. Exactly. The wa. The wa. It almost looks like a little cane or a walking stick. You know. Yes?
I got a question. We just went over the Paleo, which is the original Hebrew. So we doing the Assyrian now.
Right.
They changed. So that's when they changed it.
Well, we went into over time. We went to captivities here and there. It changed. Well, I believe in the. I don't know if it was in the Assyrian captivity. I might have to do a little research on that.
There you were correct on that.
Right. And it changed, and this was, and some of it's similar, but for the most part, it was changed, and that's where we picked up the Assyrian Hebrew script, but it's still applied with the same letters. I mean, sounds
Sounds the same. The letter,
right.
Salakia, brother. In this Assyrian captivity, we started writing the way the Assyrians did, but kept our language.
Okay.
And so the sound is kept the same sound,
Okay.
but the lettering changed, the look. So
Yes.
so that's what that happened. That's what happened.
Okay. All right. So that's the wa. Everybody got it? The next is the what?
Zah.
That's right, the za. All right, and the za is simply almost looks like a little T. Zayan, but it's it has a small overhang on top and then a line right down the middle. Right? It almost resembles a little T, but it's not as long as the little T that's in the middle down there. It's at the top. All right. All right. The next letter is the what?
Ha.
The cha. The cha. All right. Now, this is one of the tougher ones to pick up sometimes in the writing, because there's several letters that look almost the same, and this is one of them. It's the cha. It has almost like the da has that kind of shape, but the da has the overhang. Then the ha has this long kind of upside down L shape right here, but has this long stripe that comes a little bit out and then down. But when you're reading this, and you'll find that the ha, the ha, and the tha look similar, but you'll see the nuances in it, and over time you'll pick it up, and it'll be okay. So don't get upset if you mess it up a couple of times. Whereas when you're trying to learn, it just comes over time. All right, so that's the ha. What's the next letter? The ta. The ta. All right. All right. And the ta is almost. The tot is basically has a little line here that goes, then one that goes down, up, around, and it loops. Right. Almost like a U, but you know, it's a little fancy. Right. The tie. Okay. The next is
Yeah.
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. The yad. It looks almost like a little apostrophe. You know how they have an apostrophe? It looks a little bit like that. But that's the ya. Okay. And the next letter?
Ka.
Ka. And the ka, and sometimes people confuse the ka with the ba. Alright? But it's basically a backward C. Now you can see where to get the letter C from, and then how C sometimes has the ka sound, you know, and sometimes doesn't, you know. But ka is the best way to remember. You'll see the ba will have a straight line at the bottom. It will not be all curved. Let me show you the difference, but this is one of the commonly...
Kind of thick on the bottom too, right?
Right, you know, but this is the difference. One has a line that goes over a little bit right here, and it's straight. The ka goes, it's basically a backward C. Okay, so that will help you all. So remember that. All right. Next letter.
La.
It's the la, correct? And the la is basically a little fancy L. I actually like that character. This is one of my favorites. It's very unique to me. But that's the la. Lamad. That's a almost an L kind of up here and then a little squiggly down there. Alright. My next letter?
Ma.
The ma. Now, I'm going to go back for a minute because I forgot something. Before we move on to the ma, let's go back to the ka real briefly. Because in the Assyrian Hebrew, they have called a final letter, a final, forgot what's it called, final kaf, no, final, it's called basically a final letter that goes, if you see a ka at the end, if you see a ka at the end of a word, it looks like this. All right. This is a final kaf. It's basically a line at the top, but then a long, now most letters will end up maybe right here. But when you get a final, and it's only 5, I believe, finals of the different letters. One is the ka, and this is a final ka. So if you see this letter at the end of a word, it's a ka, but it's a final ka.
Fusion.
Right. But it also, like you say, like, you know how we say barak?
Right.
If you see, we don't say baraka, we say barak, because that's a final. It's a final, so we'll say barak. Now, if it was a different word with the ka in the middle, you might say baka something or something, or matter of fact, laka. How you know? So you would say sham laka. Something laka means to you, la meaning to, and ka you. If it's ka is at the end of a word, so when we say laka or gam laka, which means more to you, also to you, laka, you would say laka. But if it was a ka as a final, you will say barak. All right.
And it almost looks like the God and
Not the da, the da.
the da.
Right. It almost look a da.
Confused me when I was trying to read it.
Right, but it's a long. That's why I said it's
longer.
It's way longer. It's a long one. Right. So that's the final ka. So Salaki, I had forgot to mention that, but the Spirit called it because I was about to go into the ma.
Right.
And ma also has a final ma, and we'll get to that in 1 second after I do the original ma, which is basically this is the ma, and this one really changes versus the on the typeset of different Assyrian typesets on the internet. But you'll get the drift once you see it. You'll figure it out. But this is the ma. All right. Now this is the final ma. Because you're going to have to know these two, otherwise you won't be able to recognize them. This is the final ma. And it's a little tough, but you have that line and going across, then down, then over here, almost like a square. But as you getting ready to complete that square, you're going to hook it a little bit inside of that top line. And that's the final ma. Everyone got that?
Come.
See, this brother's still working over here. You got it?
Yeah. The one is open and the other one closed.
Right. All right. Then you have the na, which is the nan. And this is the nun. All right. And you have a final na. And the final na is a little, it's a little confusing as well with some other letters, but you know, through the Spirit, you'll get it. It's the final na. Now, it's not. It doesn't have the big long like the kaf has the long overhang. This one has a small one, but it looks like a little wa right here, but it's long. So I let you know it's not the wa because it goes all the way down. You all see that?
Come.
That's the final na. And you know, when you see a na at the end of a word, you're not going to necessarily say na. You'll say close it up. Like when you close up fun, and you'll close it up and not say the na. When you have a Hebrew word like nasha, you'll say na. But you know, when it's at the end of a word, you'll like shana, or she's shana, not shana. Okay. And that's the final nod. What? What? YAHAWASHI. So what's the next letter?
Sa.
Sa. Alright. Alright. This is the Sa. And it almost looked like an O with a fancy O. Alright. But it's not an O. It has a little clip at the top.
Upside down Q.
Or upside down Q, right? That's the Sa. Everyone has that?
Yeah.
Okay. We're looking at the time. What time is it? 10 after 1? Okay, we looking good. Alright, what's the next letter?
Alright.
Ayan. The I. Ayan. Alright. Now this one's you'll see that almost or just like a Y, a fancy Y almost. This is the I or the Ayan in the Assyrian. It almost looks like a Y, but instead of with the thing going down, it has a little clip, and almost like a Y with a little knob at the end. Sometimes they don't have the knob at the end, but this is basic shape of the character I. And just to let you know how off Esau goes, guess what they say this word sounds like? Silent.
They don't.
What letter would be silent? What purpose would it be a letter for?
It's like when you put a T in front of an S.
Right.
Instead of just say the S sound.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
They might as well just try to take it out.
But it goes to this is the last letter in YAHAWASHI's name, which is why they want you to not to get. They're doing everything to corrupt you from the name. So they say this letter is silent. But if you have to say a letter, if you was silent, it wouldn't be a letter, right? It's just stupid, man. And that angered me, and it still does. What's the next letter?
Pa.
That's correct. The Pa. All right.
Upside down G.
Babe, you know what? You can say that.
Face. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Pa. This is the Pa. Yeah. Well, Pa
Mouth?
means mouth, but Panya means face. Panya. It's a little different. All right. Everybody got that? Now the Pa has a final Pa as well. So the final Pa looks like this. It basically still has that kind of cleft where it goes a little bit up and a little bit down. You can almost see where to get the P from because it's kind of backwards and it's not closed in it. But if I close that in down here, it'll look like a backwards P. So it's a long stick. Just remember, every time you see a really long character that's extra longer than all the rest of them, it's usually a final. There's only 5. It's the Ka, the Ma, the Na, the Pa, and the Taza. It has finals. Outside of that, all the rest of them are just flat out what they are. But it's the same top, but with the long straight instead of the other one curvy. Okay? That's the final Pa. Alright, outside of the Pa, what's the next one?
Taza.
That's right. Taza. Alright, this is a kind of fun character. And this is the Taza. Also, almost looks like kind of a Y-ish, but instead of being backwards, it looks like a little bit more, but then it has the hook that goes backwards like that. Taza. Everybody got that?
Yeah.
All right. Now we have a final Taza. And it'll carry that same kind of top. And this one kind of looks more almost like the Y, if anything, because it has that same kind of top, but it goes straight down and also very long. So that's a final taza. Okay? At the end of the final meaning, at the end of a word. Okay? Next one.
Qua.
Qua, correct. Qua. And this is the qua. It's basically a long line down. And then the overhang with the loop at the end.
Like a backwards P, almost.
Almost. Right, close, right. Everyone got it?
Yeah.
All right. Next one. The rod. And this one actually looks like a backwards little R. This was one of the, but you got to be careful because this one has one that's close to it that's confusing a little bit too.
To the dot.
Kind of. The Ra is basically a backwards R, but you got to be careful because the Da almost looks the same, but the Da has an overhang. The Ra is smooth. If you look at the Ra, it's basically looking at R, the little R backwards.
And generally shorter.
Well, actually, it might be as long. This might look a little long, but it's not long. Yeah, that doesn't mean to be long. Could
So
probably
it's the overhook and the smooth.
right.
The
Curve versus the overhang.
Right.
Right. I could have made that a little shorter because it would not be as long. So I'm imperfect. I am not perfect.
Great job.
Doing the best I can. All right, Ra,
Rush.
and the next one is the Shah. Paper bleeding a little bit. All right, the next is the Shah, and I like this one as well. And
Like a W.
right, and it's almost like the Shah in the Paleo, almost. Alright? But this is the Shan. And it basically has the little strokes at the top, the three little strokes. One that goes down, over, and up, and then one goes in a little slight angle to one. But if you look at the Paleo, I almost get that W type of feel to it, which is not a W, but you know, that's kind of similar.
I always identify that with the menorah.
Right, kind of. It does remind me of the menorah as well. Kind of. All right. And the last but not least, which one we have?
Tha.
The Tha. And now this one, you have to be careful over because this one has one that's confusing. And this is the tha. Now I've got to be careful not to confuse this with what letter?
The ha.
The ha or
Ha.
the cha. Right. Now you see the cha. See the cha. It goes straight down, and this one comes down with a little overhang. You go down and go to your right, I believe, or your left. It hooks to the left. I'm looking at it backwards. Hooks to the left. So you sometimes see these, and you might get confused, especially when you're looking at different scripts on it. So that's the Assyrian. All right. So. And I used to have some flashcards. I'm going to have to make me some new flashcards that has this without the identification of what it is.
I got bottle tops.
Bottle tops?
All these on bottle tops.
Kind.
Up to the beer tops.
Kind. And what we're going to do is, do a flashcard. What is this? What is that? We'll do that just to spur that in you. But right now, I don't know where they are. They might be somewhere around here, but I'll have to look for them.
So I saw a brother made a video when he did that.
Right.
With the numerical order thing?
Well, right, but I did the same thing, just put like the round one side.
Right, and then and right next to the back, right. We used that. Remember YAHAWAH? Don't we use that at? Mm-hmm. Right. All right, so again, we'll do the alphabet and say them again. This time you can look at your Assyrian, Hebrew, to basically to go off of that. All right, and we'll just say it a couple of times just to solidify it in our mind. Ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, cha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, qua, ra, sha, tha. One more time. Ah, ba, ga, da,
Ha. Wa. Za. Cha. Ta. Ya. Ka. La. Ma. Na. Sa. I. Pa. Ta.
qua,
Ra. Sha. Da.
All right. So, well, I'm going to give 5 letters, but before I give 5, what were we looking at the time?
120.
I mean,
so the last section, what we'll do. Okay. Last thing we'll do is we're going to do 2 things. First, we're going to learn how to write your names in the Paleo and write your names in the Hebrew. So look at your Paleo and on a sheet of paper, write your name. Well, first of all, before we do that, the Spirit just told me. Always to the Spirit. We're going to write the name of the Father and the name of the Son, and make sure you know how to write the name of the Father and the Son. Esau will pay. Let's do the name of the Father and the name of the Son in the Hebrew. I'm taking it for granted that other people, especially out of YouTube land, might not know how to do that.